AITA for telling my niece her mother was a bully in school? I, 36M, was on the phone with my niece, 10F. She randomly asked if my sister, 34F, was a bully in school. I was surprised and asked her to repeat the question. For context, my sister was a horrible bully in school. She was the leader of a group of mean girls who harassed and bullied girls who were not part of the clique. We are talking fights, threats, hazing, shunning, shaming, etc. So when my niece asked again, I said yes, she was. I also told my niece that sometimes people do things and that they can change. But my niece was already full tilt, shouting that my sister was a bully as a kid, which wasn't nice. My sister went ballistic. She took the phone from her daughter, made her leave the room, and then laid into me for being negative. I only replied that it was true and recalled how she once set a girl up to get in trouble for something she did and only came clean when all the evidence pointed at her. I pointed out how she even tried to have me jumped because one of the girls being harassed by her group begged me to help her by telling my parents about what my sister was doing people. Her reign of terror only stopped when our parents found out and put her in a boarding school out of state. To this day my sister still has not accepted she did anything wrong bullying all those people. I know she has followed some of her past victims on Facebook and has a bit of animosity when talking about them when gossiping. Well, my sister ignored all this and threatened to block my number and delete me from all my niece's accounts if I continued to be negative. AITA? It sounds like your sister is still a bully. If my niece had asked me that, I would have asked her why she wanted to know. Is your niece being bullied by her own mom? I would be finding out. NTA. It seems your sister still is the bully and has turned what should have been a learning moment for her daughter into teaching her daughter that you can just deny everything. A more mature way for her to acknowledge it is like you said, mommy made a mistake but is sorry for how she behaved and learned from it. There had to be a reason your niece asked the question. Your sister seems to have a problem with the truth. She doesn't want her daughter to know about her behavior, which means she hasn't changed or grown up over the years. In fact, it sounds like she's found a new victim. NTA and possible red flags that your sister still is an abuser and may be abusing her kids. The 10-year-old may know something is not right, heard some rumors or things your sister has said and is starting to put things together. To this day my sister still has not accepted she did anything wrong bullying all those people. I know she has followed some of her past victims on Facebook and has a bit of animosity when talking about them when gossiping. Abusers and bullies will deny they did anything wrong and will continue to look to harass those they believe stood up to them, got them in trouble, etc. Worse, they then abuse their kids because they never learned, and probably never will learn. Their behavior is wrong. Could you have softened the blow to a 10-year-old? Possibly. You could have deferred and told her to talk to your sister for the full story. But posting here makes me believe your sister would not tell the truth and your niece is looking for help. Be that help and look to see if your sister is bullying, abusing her own kids. I try to let things calm down so you can keep a channel open to her kids in case they need help. NTA sounds like your sister is still a bully. Sounds like your sister is still a bully, and your niece has noticed it. They always say that adults should never lie to kids. Because you were asked a question by your niece, you only told her the truth, so NTA. Plus, you did not want to lie to her, as kids nowadays will one way or another seek the truth somehow from some source. Do not feel bad about having your sister getting mad at you since you owed your niece the truth. I guess your niece will be thankful knowing the truth, but be prepared for whatever fallout that will happen next. NTA 1. If your sister took the phone and kicked her daughter out, there is a 100% chance her being a bully came up and your sister had your niece call to dispel that notion. But since she is a bully, she had to stay close to control the narrative. 2. No better way to show you aren't a bully than by verbally abusing someone else for their opinion. 3. If your life has led you to a path where your own daughter is asking her uncle if their mother is a bully, then you have very clearly failed and have shown that as who you are for a long time. 4. The other best way to show you aren't a bully is to control whether or not your daughter can speak to her uncle by forcing her to block him on the phone and through social media. Your niece sees her mother. This all simply compiled all the evidence in one neat event for her to process. Just make sure your niece knows you are there if she ever needs anything. Thank you so much to everyone who replied. This happened years ago, but it still bothers me. My niece gets tons of information from the school about healthy behaviors and anti-bullying, which is why I think she asked. She is super honest and very blunt. It is funny cause she is becoming the polar opposite of her mom. Also, she is 100% safe. If anyone even thought to touch a hair on her head, she would let everyone know 10 times over. The little girl has no chill. NTA That question came from somewhere. It isn't random. Something set that question in the mind of your niece. Seems like the mother's default is to evade or ignore difficult questions and is clearly diminishing her vile previous behavior. NTA. I feel like if your niece was asking you point blank if her mom was a bully, then she probably already had some inkling that she was. You would have done more harm than good if you lied. ETA. Especially since you clearly weren't trying to trash your sister and tried to make it a teachable moment. The sister follows her victims on Facebook? Why? Did she mean peak in high school and still trying to bask in her teen years? I read all the comments and a bit of more information. I did not go into detail about what my sister did when my niece could hear. That would have been way too much for anyone. I said yes and left it for her mom to say the rest. When my sister yelled at me after my niece left, I brought up things she did. Again, this happened almost a year ago, but I just wanted to ask because at times I try to reflect on my actions. After all, it helps me grow. My niece is doing great and stands up for her friends against bullies, and I am proud of her. I mean, your sister still is a bully. NTA If your parents had to send her out of state to a boarding school, she was a pretty serious bully. The fact that she still stalks her victims and gossips about them is horrifying. I feel sorry for your niece and have big concern about why she asked the question in the first place. And as for saying your sister changed, it doesn't really sound like she has. While you could have softened it a bit, but kids need honesty. She will know that you are an adult that will tell her the truth. Which will be really great when she gets older because she will trust you. I do fear your sister cutting access to your niece off. Bullies love control. It can be tricky, but do what you have to stay in touch with that kid while remaining as honest as you can. I have a feeling she will really need you in her corner as she grows up. Your niece probably already knew and just needed confirmation. NTA And it sounds like she never changed. Yeesh, I feel bad for her kid. Keep an eye on them for your niece's sake. I'd be concerned about abuse if your sister is still mistreating and stalking people. NTA. Your sister needs to take accountability for her actions and not silence you for speaking the truth. It's better your niece knows now so she can make informed decisions about who she wants in her life. NTA, and sadly doesn't sound like she really has changed all that much considering she's trying to bully you into not calling her a bully. A bit of an ass. I mean, lying isn't good, but you probably should have discussed it with her before sharing it with her daughter. I would not share the bad stories of my sister with her children without her consent.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. AmITheAsshole is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.